From the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clanging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, happy Friday, America. Hello, everybody. This is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. I don't know what the weather was like in your neighborhood yesterday, but about 3 o'clock this morning, I was sound asleep. And we'll talk about the huge party last night in just a little while. But I was sound asleep. I was sawing logs, and all of a sudden, the loudest explosion I'd ever heard, and I literally just jumped out of bed, and I thought the Iranians were attacking Memphis, which made no sense at all, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and a little discombobulated, but it turns out we had some pretty nasty storms roll through, but geez Louise. So the good news is the Iranians have not, ladies and gentlemen, attacked Germantown, Tennessee, or my home, and I'm grateful for that. Wow, what a night last night as we were getting ready to celebrate. I mean, we were right in the throes of our big book launch party, and word came down that the Israelis had finally decided to put an end to this Iranian nonsense. And I will say this, it's a fascinating story, and this will one day be made into a major movie, and I have no doubt about that. But the masterful way that the Mossad went in and infiltrated Iran, they built about a year ago. This has been about a year in the planning, and it goes back to the cell phone, the exploding cell phone plot. The Israelis are a very patient people. They were planning this attack for well over a year. They actually created a secret base. They were using one of their assets was one of the leaders of the Revolutionary Guard, and they built this secret base and went to town last night. Attacks are still underway today, and Israel says this is all about making sure that there is peace in the Middle East. And a lot of folks are very upset about this. A lot of conservatives are very upset. They say that Israel is going to bring about World War III. They say that the United States has no business protecting or defending Israel. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Tucker Carlson is really upset with President Trump. And by the way, God bless President Trump here. Look what he did. President Trump was playing a role. It was really, truly political theater. The president made it appear that he had a falling out with the Israelis and that he had a falling out specifically with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, when in fact, covertly behind the scenes, they were plotting all of this out. And President Trump really nailed the point when he said, hey, look, we gave Israel 60 days to work all of this out. Yesterday was day 61. And the president again says there's still time for all of you people who are still alive over there, because Israel is going out and they are obliterating all of the top military leadership. So the top commands force in Iran, they have been dispatched to the hereafter. And we're talking with sometimes precision strikes. There was one, I was watching the videos last night, and one of them was an apartment building. And instead of just, blowing up the entire building, they found out where this one general was, and they launched a missile directly into the window of that particular apartment. This is brilliant, just really masterful. Now, here's the thing. There are a lot of people out there who say that we have no business being a defender of Israel, and many of those are in the conservative movement, by the way. And there is a growing segment of the conservative movement who say that Israel should be on its own, that we should not be sacrificing any of our resources for the nation of Israel. Well, we did not. As a matter of fact, Israel is responsible for taking out Iran. And Tucker Carlson is really upset. He says he posted a newsletter today, said this could be the final newsletter before all-out war. And Tucker says that any allegation, he said Trump knew the attack was coming. He's really upset at Donald Trump. And he said that the U.S. says it was not involved, but that's not true. The U.S. was involved. And a lot of people are just now wondering, okay, what's up with Tucker? Is he trying to appease the people that are paying his bills, many of whom are in, say, Qatar, for example? I do not know. I just don't know. But Tucker and I sincerely disagree on this particular issue. And I believe that we must, ladies and gentlemen, and I believe the Bible commands us to stand alongside Israel. So for me, it is more of a religious edict than it is a political edict, and I think Tucker is coming this strictly from a political point of view. But I'm curious, ladies and gentlemen, to get your reaction to the news coming out. There are concerns that we may be facing some sort of attacks on American soil, and that may be the case, only because so many people have been allowed to infiltrate our nation from our southern border. So it very well could be there are Iranian sleeper cells somewhere operating here in America. But again, the question it goes back to Israel. You have a nation, Iran. Is the world going to be a safer place if Iran has nuclear weapons? Iran has promised over and over and over again death to Israel, death to America. They literally, the Ayatollahs literally want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. And I think, look, if I'm Israel and I'm literally in my backyard, I've got Iran, yeah, I'm going to be a little worried about that. And there are many in this country and in the conservative movement who say, Israel is the aggressor. Israel caused Gaza. It's Israel's fault. Everything is Israel's fault. That's what they're saying. And I would sincerely disagree. I would say you have this tiny sliver of a nation in the middle, a tiny sliver of a nation in the Middle East called Israel. And they have hundreds of millions of Muslims that want to destroy them. So Israel, I believe, is well within their rights to defend themselves. And if that means launching a preemptive strike to specifically take out and target Iran's nuclear arsenals, or at least the infrastructure for what could be nuclear arsenals, then I say that's their decision to make, and it is not ours. If they need our help, we're an ally. We're there to help. But you know what? Israel says, we don't need your help right now. We're good. And people say, well, they have no right. Really? Really? What do you mean they have no right? Who are we to tell Israel what to do? I'll give you an example. Back in the 1960s, when the Soviet Union wanted to put up nuclear missiles in Cuba, guess what happened? That's right. President John F. Kennedy intervened. We all remember the Cuban, well, I was not alive back then, but we all have read in the history books about the Cuban Missile Crisis. And the general belief among Republicans and Democrats, there was no way that we could allow the Soviets to introduce nuclear missiles in the southern hemisphere and anywhere near the United States of America. There was no way they're going to let those missiles be placed 90 miles from Miami. That just could not happen. Well, the same thing applies here. And by the way, we were going to launch preemptive strikes. They went with the boycott, and it did not get to that point. But that's where all of that was going. Here with Iran, we've given them choice after choice. We've given them opportunity after opportunity, and time after time, the Iranians said, no, we're not going to comply. So Trump said, okay, you got 60 days. And what happened? Well, 60 days came. Day 61, the missile started firing. So if Iran wants to look at somebody to blame, they have nobody to blame but themselves for this, because they are being bombed back to the Stone Age. Now, the question is, what happens next? Because Iran says this is an act of war. I truly believe that Israel has decimated them. I'm not sure that even the Iranians understand the significance of the devastation right now, because this was a brilliantly planned strike by the Israelis. Simply brilliant. As a matter of fact, President Trump earlier today urged Tehran to strike a deal quickly or risk even more attacks. And again, Israel's not going out there. They're not turning Iran into a glass parking lot. They're just trying to eliminate the danger for them. One nuclear weapon, and you've got millions of dead people across Israel. That's really all it takes. And so that's why this, and so it really, I'm always puzzled by the folks like Tucker. And I'm, okay, well, Tucker, what is the option here? We just give Iran, we allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. We just allow Iran to obliterate Israel. And then we just shrug our shoulders at the end of the day. Is that what we're supposed to do here? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, just moments ago, new attacks, large explosions being reported in the eastern and western parts of Tehran. Benjamin Netanyahu says that he has issued a directive, and this all happened back in 2024. So that's when the planning of this started. He instructed them to destroy Iran's nuclear program. The original attack was planned for late April, but did not take place, so it's taking place now. And I say good for the Israelis. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to open up the phone lines. By the way, today is also Open Line Friday. Whatever you want to talk about, we're going to talk about. I've got some things to say about Senator Padilla out of California. Also, the big No Kings protests that are apparently happening all over America tomorrow. We have a big military parade in Washington, D.C. It's going to be, we've got a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of ground to cover. Also, our good buddy Ben Dieter back from Washington, D.C., he's going to be joining us. Joe Messina and Newsmax host Caleb Park is going to bring us a live report from Nashville where the Maryland man is in court today. Again, our number, 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
You're with Todd Starnes.
Everyone's goals for advancing their education look different. At Liberty University, we've helped thousands of students like you earn their dream degree. So no matter what your goal is, we can help you get there. With over 450 degrees from the associate to the doctoral level to choose from, most of which are 100% online, you'll find what you need to succeed. To discover which degree might be the best fit for you, text degree to 49595. That's degree to 49595.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I take it every day, and let me tell you, there are few things that I refuse to do without. Balance of Nature is one of them.
Yeah, it's good. I put it in a protein shake pretty much every morning.
Honey, I'm 80 years old. Last year, I painted the whole house myself on a 12-foot ladder with a brush. And I've remodeled the inside of my office, and I've taken it 6 or 7 years. I just like it.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Don't wait. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Yeah, Ayatollah go boom boom. The Ayatollah got a big poo-poo. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Stearns Radio Show. Such an honor to have you with us. Again, our number today is Open Line Friday. Whatever you would like to talk about, you can. Our telephone number, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. It was so fun. Earlier this morning, we got a call from a couple of our WDUN listeners who were in town from Gainesville, Georgia. They were over visiting in Branson, making their way back through Memphis, and said, can we drop by and say hello? And we said, sure. And they're big supporters of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and they host a big fundraising gospel singing over in the Gainesville area. Lanier Tech, I believe, isn't it? Lanier Tech, I believe, is where they do it. Stanley and Peggy, and they gave us these really nice Yeti mugs. And I gave them a copy of our brand new book, Star Spangled Blessings, and it was just a great time to fellowship, and we had a good laugh over the delicious iced tea at Long Street Cafe there in Gainesville, Georgia. Always fun to have listeners drop by and say hello, and we just love that here at the Todd Stearns Show. Before we, and again, it is going to be a jam-packed show, but I just have to say thank you so much to some wonderful people that put together the big book launch celebration. We had over 200 people turn out last night at Germantown Baptist Church. The chef, Aaron Winters, just did a phenomenal job. The people were going nuts over the food, and it was unbelievable. We sold out of the books, and folks just had a great time. And we signed, Michelle Cox and I signed books for at least 2 hours straight. And so I just want to say thank you for making it a hugely successful night here in the Memphis area. I especially want to thank the Shelby County Republican Party and the Conservative Women of Collierville, all of the great Republican ladies out there, Luke Simbel, Patty Possel, all of those who came out and were really helping to get out the vote. Actually, they were getting out the books, I guess, is a better way to say that. But such a blessing, and our great team here at KWAM, our flagship station here in Memphis, Tennessee. All that to say, the book officially hits bookstores on Tuesday, and we would love for you, if you're at the party, I want you to go and post some photos on our Facebook page or social media pages. We'll be posting a lot of photos as well. And a very special thank you to two great ladies. We call them the Kristens. We actually nicknamed them the Real Housewives of Germantown. Kristen Hicks and Kristen New, two great ladies. They started the Moms for Liberty and here in the Memphis area. And those ladies are always working the book tables for us and just going above and beyond. And they're just great American patriots. And I could spend the entire show thanking people, but we've only got 3 hours. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. So all that to say, thank you. It just meant the world to all of us. And we just want to say thank you again for supporting our brand new book, Star Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. Ben Dieter is going to be here in a little while. He's now listed as Big Deal Ben Dieter. We're going to have a conversation about this a little bit later. But right now, I'm going to go to the phone lines. Say hello to our good buddy, Joe from Ellijay, Georgia. Hey, Joe, what's going on?
Todd, you're great. Great show. And I'm excited about your great book. And I just want to say I think what Israel did last night was wonderful. And I think that it should have been done. We've got to stop Iran. Anytime somebody says they want to kill you, which they said to the people of Israel and the United States, something's got to be done. So I applaud Netanyahu and Israel for doing exactly what they've done. And I also think that opens the door for the big, beautiful bill to pass, which I think will pass by July 4th. So happy days to hear again. You've got a great book. You've got a great show. So I'm happy and fired up and proud of you. And just have a great weekend and keep up whatever you're doing, Todd. You're doing great.
Well, Joe, thank you for that. Very kind words. And, it's going to be a busy weekend heading down to Tupelo, Mississippi, and I'll be the keynote speaker at the Trump birthday dinner. They're celebrating Donald Trump, the Republican Party, down in Lee County, Mississippi. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if any of our Mississippi friends are around, drop on by and say hello. Joe, thank you for calling in. Always good to hear from you, my friend. By the way, a lot of folks are still shaking their heads over the president's decision to revisit illegal immigration in this country. And that sort of broke during our show yesterday, and phones lit up. And a lot of people pretty fired up about this. On both sides, there are some who are hardline, deporters like myself. We've got to deport every illegal, send them back to where they came from. Then they can come back legally. And then there are others who say, well, wait a second, who's going to, who's going to mow our grass? Who's going to clean our houses? In the Democrat Party, who's going to wipe our buttocks? Who's going to do all of this if we get rid of all the illegals? So there are some now that are saying, you know what, Trump is right. We need to revisit this. We need to let the illegals working the farms and working in the hotel industry and cleaning our bathrooms, we need to let those illegals stay, but everybody else has to go. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is Open Line Friday on the Todd Stern Show. We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Stearns. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code STARNS, and you're going to save an extra 10%.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/
the right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/TODD or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, welcome back to the Todd Stern Show. Those of you watching us on our Facebook Live, I've just been told by Cassie apparently my head is big or something. They're working on it. It could have been because of all of the accolades from last night. I mean, wow, what a great turnout. And again, thank you all for coming. Let's hit the phone lines here, 901-260-5926. We will start our day in Lakeland, Tennessee. Jim, listening to us on KWAM. Hi, Jim. How's it going?
Oh, going fine. I enjoyed your event last night, but I got something I want to put out there.
I've got a friend of mine, his wife is from, and get people's opinion, his wife is a citizen of Australia, and she's not a U.S. citizen, but she spent 23 years in the United States Navy, and I think, in my opinion, that a person that defends our country with our military after 23 years retired ought to be an automatic U.S. citizen. What do y'all think?
Well, look, I mean, I hear you. And first of all, yes, because we will get these questions. Yes, if you are a non-citizen, you can serve in the U.S. military. You have to meet, certain requirements and whatever. Yeah, look, Jim, I'm with you on that. My question would be, though, I mean, after 20 years, why not go ahead and start that process of becoming a U.S. citizen, after, say, year 1 or 2? And why wait after 20 years?
Well, it would probably take, another 4, 5, 7 years to be able to do it. I would think that the time that you served in the military defending our country ought to be automatically a U.S. citizen.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. And Jim, I'm curious to hear your thought on this. I do think our immigration system needs to be reformed. I mean, it takes way too long for people to become legal citizens of the country. That's got to be streamlined. But yeah, for something like this, if you're willing to put wear the uniform of the country and you're willing to put your life on the line, I'd say as soon as you're discharged, boom, you become an American citizen.
Well, I agree with you, and that particular person is my brother's wife.
Is that right?
And yes, it's my brother's wife, and she is a model person. She's retired out of the U.S. Navy, and she's still working. And but when I found out that she can't vote and stuff like that, I said, my gosh, she defended our country in our military, and that any person that does that and wants to become a U.S. citizen should be an automatic citizen after 23 years in the Navy or any branch of service.
That's it. You know what? We'll put that question out to the listeners, Jim. I'm curious. Were you able to get over to the food last night?
Yes, it was delicious. In fact, I started to sample it twice, but I thought, no, it might run out. And then, but it was delicious. It was great. It was a great event, and I really appreciate being there, man. Thank you.
Well, and it was great to see Mrs. Jim there, too.
Yeah, she's there. She was all gung-ho about it. She's walking around. I was shooting pictures for her, for everybody that she recognized,
Well, you'll have to send me some. I know you're a great photographer, Jim, so you'll have to send me a couple of the photos.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll make sure she does. She'll put them up there for you.
All right. Well, Jim, thank you for coming out, and thank your wife, too. A great lady, one of our great commissioners in the Memphis area, and we really appreciate you guys a lot, Jim.
Thank you very much, Todd. Appreciate your show.
All right. Thank you. That's Jim from Lakeland, Tennessee, and he and his wife are there, the lovely Miss Connie. She's one of our commissioners in one of the burbs, Lakeland, and just great American patriots. Let's go to Dwight in Gainesville, Georgia. Hey, Dwight, what's on your mind today?
Oh, man, just some of the issues at hand, I guess, thinking about immigration and all. So I think if we're saying there's 10 million illegal immigrants in the country, there's probably 20, right? And
yes.
If we deport all these people at one time, the economy stalls because there's no one to do these jobs. So shouldn't there be a process where we take the ones that have been here for 20 years, give them 90 days to get a work permit? Anybody after that that's caught without a permit or anything, then deport them. But we got to have some common sense and not, shut ourselves down.
Dwight, I like where you're going with this. And again, if you've been here for that long, my question, it always goes back to this one simple question. In all those 20 years, why haven't you just taken the plunge, go and apply to become a legal citizen of America? I just don't understand that.
We never made them. If you could come here and get a free ride, what's the punishment? Nothing.
And so
if you don't get it, you're out.
So let me see if I get this. I think I see where you're going with this, because if you give them 90 days, you've got 90 days to make yourself righteous, And if you don't, then that's on you, and boom, you and your family are back across the border.
And you're out. That's right. And let's say within a year, you have to become a legal citizen. And if you don't, you have to leave and come back to get a work permit every year. And you still don't get to vote until you have become a legal citizen.
Dwight, it's an idea. I'm still a hardliner. I think everybody has to go and then come back, and we focus on the people that want to come here legally, and the people that want to live by and they want to live as free people and not take from the American people, which I think is really what's happening with these illegals, especially when you look at the massive amounts of taxpayer money. But Dwight, I like your idea. It's a fine idea. And we'll throw that out there, folks. Dwight suggests you've been here 20 years, you get a chance to become a citizen, 90 days, and if you don't do that, well, boom, you're gone. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Let's go to New Bern, North Carolina. Ron is on the line, and Ron wants to weigh in on something Jim was just talking about. Hey, Ron, what you got for us?
Yes, sir. The U.S. military has had a program for a very long time for foreign nationals to enlist in the service, at which time they're granted a green card, and after a short period of time, they're allowed to apply for U.S. citizenship. I'd have to guess on the lady from Australia that served 20 years, retired, that she chooses not to renounce her Australian citizenship. Because there's no impediment for her becoming a U.S. citizen. But Australia does not recognize dual citizenship, so she would have to renounce her Australian citizenship. She'd probably choose not to do so.
That's interesting. And again, I know many people have dual citizenship, and I'm not sure what the rules or regulations are about that. But Ron, do you know if in fact there is some sort of a program set up today where foreigners serving in our military can become citizens?
As of about 5 years ago, there still was a program, and I would expect it's still there. And it's been in place since after World War II.
Now, that's interesting. According to the latest government information we have, you have to have a U.S. permanent resident card, a green card, and you got to be able to speak, read, and write English fluently. I guess you can do that if you're from Australia. I've been to Outback. Everybody kind of talks English there. I think if anybody is a non-resident or is, and I don't even know if Jim's in-law is any legal, but again, if you're fighting in the military, I say there's got to be some sort of a special way for you to become a citizen. Ron, thank you for that call. Let's go to Lee in Memphis, listening to us on KWAM. And Lee, I understand you wanted to respond to what Jim was telling us.
I know for a fact. See, I was in the Navy in 1991, so when I was in there, there's a lot of Filipinos that happen to be in the Navy, and the particular reason for that is because we have lots of bases in the Philippines. They've always been a big ally. So I know that when a Filipino, I knew one guy in particular, if he's listening, Lil Lila was his last name. Anyway, he had to sign up for 8 years. He had no choice of no 4, no 6 like American citizens. He had to sign for 8. And if he did the whole 8 and got honorable discharge, he was become a citizen. So it was, at least back then, a thing for Filipinos. At least I would assume others. I don't know. But so yeah, I don't know whatever happened to that. But
Lee, what about all the others that are here illegally? And we mentioned 10 million. The number they're giving us is 20 million. I suspect that number is probably around 40 million. Where do you stand on the immigration? Do all the illegals need to go, or do we need to figure out plans for certain groups of illegals?
Well, let's put it like this here. I'm a hardliner. They all need to go. I've done my part by reporting some around the Memphis area. So, I don't have no sympathy. And that excuse about, somebody's not going to do your job. Well, I'm 53 years old. And what about the people back in before they came along, the jobs were filled? And think about this. All the teenagers, the young adults who were trying to get on their feet, starting at jobs that so-called we don't want to do, what about them? Now they're out, and then the other more skilled, well, I wouldn't say skilled, but factory-type jobs where you're older, people need those jobs. So I don't care what anybody says. And I'm going to tell you something. This is some that particular. I order off the DoorDash and Uber a lot. Well, I've noticed an influx of people coming to your door that aren't who it's supposed to be, and they're Hispanic, and I always have to meet at door. I don't like leaving my food on the ground, so they can barely even speak. Like sometimes they even show the phone to you so they can say your name. Well, I started reporting them, and that's the only way.
Oh wow!
The app will do anything about it. So because I even seen it. Here's an example. I seen in New York City or some TV news, whatever. This one illegal was saying, it's the only job we can get because, all they have to do is have somebody legal, download the app, sign up for them, and pass the phone to them. That's all they have to do. And
well, that explains a lot, Lee, because I've noticed that I used DoorDash a couple of weeks ago, and the guy that delivered wanted his tip in pesos. And I'm like, what's up with that? That sounds weird. I'm not. Buenos dias. He no speak English. And then he said, pesos. And I'm like, I got no pesos for you. I got $1 because it's America. Speak English, please. All right, Lee, thank you for that call. I'm just telling you. It's a little frustrating, right? I'm just telling you. All right, 901-260-5926 number. Huge news, by the way, and we've got a great Newsmax show coming up for you, 5 o'clock Eastern time. Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange. Millions are joining our news revolution. Newsmax now the 4th highest rated news channel just behind CNN, and Reuters now calling us one of the top news brands in America. By the way, my show number's up 85% from last year. 40 million Americans now going to Newsmax for shows like Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and more. Download our free Newsmax app on your smartphone or TV and start watching. President Trump says Newsmax is truly terrific. You're going to want to get the free Newsmax app and also check out our shares, Newsmax shares, on the New York Stock Exchange. Go to NewsmaxInvest.com for more info on that. That's NewsmaxInvest.com. Well, let's go to the phone lines. Our good friend Kristen New, Kristen, your ears must have been burning because I was just talking about you on the air.
I called. I didn't hear you talk about me, but I called that you were talking a little bit about the event last night, so I just wanted to call in and just talk about how wonderful it was, how many people showed up. I mean, my goodness. Todd, you have a lot of fans.
Well, it was a lot of. Actually, it was the food. It was just off the charts insane.
Well, I didn't even taste the food because we were too busy selling out your books. I mean, my gosh, I think you were sweating. You were signing so fast and furious last night.
Kristen, I can't feel my thumbs this morning. Otherwise, it's. I will say this.
We had people buy 10 books at a time. People, and they've given them away as gifts, which I think is a wonderful idea. And if people
Kristen, hang tight 1 second, Kristen. We've got a super bad signal. Let's do this. Let's try to reconnect with Kristen. We're going to take a quick break here. Again, it is Open Line Friday, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. We'll reconnect with Kristen right after the break.
He's not bitter. He's blessed. Todd Starnes.
As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. Now, he didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Now, Mike is offering the best deal on his Giza Dream bed sheets. Any size, any color, just $49.98. That's right. You can even get the Queens, Kings, Split Kings, and Cal Kings. Any size, any color, just $49.98. Order now because when they're gone, they're gone. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 in merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Call 1-800-839-8506. Use the promo code STARNS or go to mypillow.com. Use the promo code STARNS for the amazing offer of $49.98 on the Giza Dream Sheets, any size, any color. That number again, 1-800-839-8506, promo code STARNS.
Attention, Patriots. Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
America doesn't need barbed wire or secret police to lose freedom. All it takes is silence. Live Not by Lies is a gripping docuseries by Angel Studios that reveals how soft totalitarianism is creeping into everyday life. Through powerful stories from people who lived under communism, it warns of what happens when we surrender truth for safety. This is a must-watch for anyone who loves faith, family, and freedom. Stream the series now, only on Angel Guild, by visiting angel.com/Starnes.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right. By the way, Governor Greg Abbott has deployed 5,000 National Guard troops, 2,000 state troopers across the state to maintain order tomorrow in these No King protests. We'll keep you updated on that. All right, let's get back to the phone lines. We've reestablished contact with Kristen New. Kristen, sorry about that, but good. Thank you so much for the incredible work you guys did last night.
It was so much fun. I was, before my line got messed up, I was just amazed about how many people were buying these books by the truckloads, it seems. They were buying 10 copies at a time and sharing them with their neighbors and their friends and their family members. And I thought that was incredible, because really that's what this book is about. It's blessings for patriots, and these kind of messages that you and Michelle Cox wrote, those are the messages that you want to share with your neighbors and your friends and your family members. So I thought that was a really wonderful idea.
And everybody got the message, because everybody was decked out in red, white, and blue last night.
Oh, it was a wonderful patriotic event. And that's what I love about these events that you do, Todd, is that you put together people who have a common, just a love for this country, and that is something that we all have in common in that room, and that we all can talk about freely, which it doesn't seem like it's the case anymore. And sometimes that we go into places and we feel like we have to maybe kind of tone that down, but hey, not at a Todd Starnes event. You do not have to tone down your patriotism.
No. We're free speech proponents there.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is why we have such a good time. Everyone is relaxed. And let's do another one.
I like that. All right, I need to get the feeling back in my thumbs, but I'm yeah. Count me in. Count me in.
Well, count me in too, Todd. I'm happy to help.
But Kristen, and by the way, thank you. You guys have done such great work in the Republican Party, and just completely. It's an exciting time in Memphis and this part of Tennessee. as you guys are just fired up, and there's so much energy, fresh energy in the party.
And you know what, Todd? I would just say it's coming. 2026 is coming, and so we're getting ready now.
I love it. All right, Kristen, thank you again. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too, Todd. Thank you.
All right, well, let's go to Kevin in Germantown, Tennessee, listening to us on KWAM, our flagship station. Hi, Kevin. What's on your mind?
Hi, Todd. I just wanted to reaffirm the idea of immigration being a good thing when done according to the rules. I happen to be an immigrant, came here as a kid, but I remember 8 and 10 hour car drives as my dad drove down to New York City to go through the paperwork, and did it properly, and got green cards for us both. I carried a green card for, 15 years, maybe more, 20 years. Reported in every January. I was very concerned about, following the rules, because it was somebody else's country. That's the rules. That's what you do. Finally, a naturalized citizen. But I think, the system seemed to work back then. It took, maybe a year to actually get the green cards, but after that, everything was okay. We need the immigrants. We need the farm workers. We need the other workers. But got to be a system, and it's a failure of both sides, both Republicans and Dems, I think, to make that happen. It's just used as a political football to try and embarrass each other's side, and let's hope that there's an opportunity here to actually reestablish and maybe streamline.
And get it right. Absolutely. Kevin, God bless you, and we're proud to count you as one of our great listeners and fellow countrymen. And thank you for hanging out with us today, Kevin. We've got to skedaddle. That music means we have to take a hard break here. Don't go anywhere if you're on hold. We're going to get to your calls. Ben Dieter, the great Ben Dieter, coming up next. This is the Todd Stearns Show. Hey folks, Todd Stearns here. What's your plan when the smartest investors who never lose pile into gold and silver? They're buying now, watching value climb. Are you okay with missing out, seeing them thrive while you wait? Vault U.S. Gold is the answer. Trusted by pros. They offer gold IRAs to secure your retirement, and gold and silver delivered, shipped, and insured to your door. Want to roll over your 401k? Well, their experts make it seamless, honest every step. Why Vault U.S.? Well, they're steady, reliable, no tricks, just value. Gold's hot. Don't regret sitting this out. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653, or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd for a free investor kit. That's 833-511-GOLD or 833-511-4653, and get your free investor kit. And say Todd Stearns sent you. Vault U.S. Gold. Buy smart, win big. Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists, so if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Stearns, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the Recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter. Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Stearns. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. So maybe you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're much happier with. Here's the number you need, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
The Edison Township Council in New Jersey has banned citizens from having American flags, copies of the U.S. Constitution, or other props at meetings. A citizen who objected to the new rules was told by Council President Nish Patel he was in violation, ordered police to remove the guy from the council chamber. Patel told the Edison Reporter that any props will be considered not conducive to good order, and as the president, he gets to make the call. Now, the good news is the citizens of Edison are fighting back. The Republican chairperson said banning the flag from council meeting goes beyond normal political discourse between parties and would be destructive to their diverse community. She also said it's absurd, and it is absurd. Fortunately, there's a simple remedy for the un-American activities of the town council. Either let citizens wave Old Glory or return every single penny of federal tax money. I'm Todd Stearns.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Common Sense Conservative Commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes Radio Extravaganza, broadcasting border to border, coast to coast, across the fruited plain. Wow, what a night last night, and so many wonderful, great Patriots. You know, there was a lot of concern about security, and I told folks, no, I've got Ben Dieter. Ben Dieter is going to be with us, and if any Antifa thugs show up, Dieter will have it under control.
I'm a gun show. What can I say?
How's it going, Dieter?
It's good to be back in the hood, Todd, and great event last night. Packed house, standing room only.
It was unbelievable.
You were a celebrity. Wow. I can now say that because now you're no longer my boss. I just came back as a former cop. Now we're, in the same field of sorts. But Todd, let me tell you, this city turned out for you. This state turned out for not just the book, this project, which you've been working on for a while now, but for what you do in Tennessee and Memphis. So it was great to be out there, meet so many Patriots. The line was massive out the door just to get the autograph. And so I think we sold all your books.
We sold out.
All of them.
Signed for two hours, and I realized at the end, I didn't get any of the great food people were talking about. They had the pork bellies. They had the
Are they hush puppies?
Prime rib sliders.
Amazing.
They had
shrimp.
Crab cakes.
Crab cakes.
And then they had something called popcorn gelato. And people were raving about this, but the chef Aaron is his name, Aaron Winters, really just hit a home run last night. The whole night was just a great night.
Is he your personal chef? Oh, that's the church chef.
The church chef, yeah. He works in the,
Your church has a chef?
Well, yeah, it's they do Wednesday night meals and a lot of fellowships and events at the church. And we open up our fellowship halls to, community events. Confidential Care, one of the big pro-life groups. Kayleigh McEnany is going to be the keynote speaker this year from Fox. They ought to bring you down.
So let me ask this about the book, because I got my own copy for the first time yesterday, so I've been sorting through it a little bit. What is different about this book and this project? Because it reminds me of the Daily Biscuit a lot, but it's different.
It is different. I think the Daily Biscuit was a lot more funnier, just humorous country stories, and we're working on. I don't want to give away too much of the farm just yet, but we're working on a special project that I think is really going to refocus what we do here on this program and on TV and also in our digital space. And one of the things we really wanted to do was start developing products for the family and for kids. And we're working on, I've got a couple of projects in the hopper that will, do that just specifically for young people. And this is one of those books where we wanted people to kind of get a flavor of what America is really all about and to tell some incredible stories. As a matter of fact, one of the ladies came up to me and she said, "Oh my God, you've got a chapter in here about the UNC Chapel Hill boys who saved the American flag." And she said that she was related or has a friend whose son was one of those young men that stood up and defended Old Glory.
Incredible.
Those are the kinds of stories I wanted to write about. And Michelle Cox was just so well received last night and just does a wonderful job writing the devotions, coming up with verses and questions and things like that.
Also, there are recipes in there. I didn't know that you were actually putting recipes in this devotional
we
book
have to give a shout out to Elizabeth from Calitrin. And so this is kind of again, I don't want to make a big deal of this, but I've lost about 11 pounds and I've been taking Calitrin and I've been watching the steps. I've been doing about 10,000 steps a day, and I joined the gym. And again, I don't want to be one of these people. You know how it is. Where they're like, "Oh, you need to stop eating cheeseburgers too." No, don't stop eating cheeseburgers because of me. But I'm trying to cut back here and there, and try to get in shape. I'm doing a mini Maha.
Can I say, because I've been in D.C. for a month now. I haven't seen you for a hot minute. And it was the first thing that I noticed. And I don't know that you compliment someone. I said, "Todd, what's going on? Your face looks a little bit thinner." That's when you said, "Calitrin's been working."
I'm like, "Todd, do you have a new tie?" It looks
So
Your
the
neck
book's
looks
great.
smaller.
You look great, and it's so good to be
Well,
back.
Elizabeth from Calitrin, you hear her voice. She is just an incredibly wonderful person, beautiful, too. Are we allowed to say that on the radio? I think we can.
We're Republicans.
We worship and love women on the Todd Stearns radio program. And so anyway, Elizabeth was there, and we gave her a big shout-out. And I felt bad because, Elizabeth, I'm fairly certain there's nothing healthy on this buffet tonight. Maybe the pork butt. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. The shrimp.
There was no salad in sight. There was no salad.
We didn't even put the nice decorative lettuce down, we didn't even do that. By the way, 901-260-5926, our telephone number. And in studio with us is the great Ben Dieter, who was working with us, for over 4 years. You were the EP of the show, and now you're working in Washington, D.C. Can we say where in Washington, D.C.? What building?
Yeah, of course.
On Capitol Hill.
On Capitol Hill, working House of Representatives, Rayburn.
Who in God's name gave you keys to the Capitol building? That's what I want to know.
It's quite a responsibility, knowing that at any given day, 7 days a week, 24 hours, I have access to every building on that compound, because it's not just one building, the iconic one that you get on the postcard. It's all of those buildings, and they gave the keys to the kingdom, so I'm king.
Well, I'm glad somebody did. Are you able to knock some sense into some of these people up there?
All I say is Doge cuts, which, by the way, we got yesterday. It's not a lot. We've got a lot more pork we can cut. That city loves to spend a lot of money, but yesterday was a start. But it's the tip of the iceberg. $9.1 billion in Doge cuts, NPR, et cetera, all those others.
Let me just say this: we got to start cutting back on the pork bellies. That's what we got to. That's what we got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. You want to take a few calls?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. 901-260-5926. We've got a lot of KWAM listeners today, and one of our favorites, he is the sponsor of the morning show on our flagship station, KWAM, Todd Lochner from Principal Toyota Memphis. Todd, welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys?
Well,
What's good, Todd?
We're just hanging out on the radio today, Todd.
Well, man, I was running an errand and going through the Whataburger drive-thru, and I started listening to you guys, and I thought, man, first of all, I wanted to call and say, I was invited last night, and I'm so sorry I did not make it. I'm so proud of you, and congratulations on the new book. I'm excited about that, and I'm sorry I couldn't be there. And Ben, welcome back for the short time. We missed you, and proud of what you're doing up there. And yeah, as Todd just said, let's keep cutting that pork belly, man. We need to reduce the expenses dramatically.
Well, it's interesting being inside, right? Because now I'm a swamp creature. I want to say I'm one of the good ones, Todd. A hill rat. There's all sorts of different names for these people. And you start to see the frustrations, why Congress's approval ratings are so low. And I think for me, just getting that inside scoop, that inside perspective, it is frustrating. That building, it works and moves so slow. Think about the big, beautiful bill, for example. That was, climbing Mount Everest to get all of those members to take that vote in the affirmative. We now send that over to the Senate. This is going to make those 2017 Trump tax cuts permanent. It's going to preserve Medicare, all these different. It's got to get to the Senate, and then they're going to tear up that bill, frustrating, and send it all the way back over to the House. And I think that's why a lot of people they don't have a lot of trust. They don't have a lot of patience for how Congress works. And it's interesting now being one of the quote unquote insiders and seeing it from that perspective, Todd.
That's you, Todd, not me, Todd.
Yeah, it's I think to sum it up pretty simple, I think there's been a large injection to the American public of common sense. And when people with common sense are looking there, they're going, it doesn't make sense. And it's very frustrating. When you see things, you're like, why? Well, this doesn't even make sense as you put it. And that's the frustrating part about it, is that the American people, we look at it and go, well, this, I don't even understand why they're doing this. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't flow well, with a lot of people. And that common sense, it prevails, and it seems like there's not a lot of it up there.
Yeah, yes, which is why, we're kind of looking at Ben's relocation there almost as being a missionary for Capitol Hill. So hopefully he'll convert many to the right way of thinking, Todd. Todd, we got...
Is Rand...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, what's your thought? You think Rand Paul's going to get on board this time on this thing or not?
It's hard to say, Todd, but Rand Paul's Rand Paul, and he's sticking to his guns. He's a principled person, and I get that. But politics, you've got to have some compromise here. And I still go back. I never wavered from this, Todd Lochner. What President Trump wants, he should get. He won with a mandate. If it doesn't work, well, you know what? President Trump will suffer the consequences, and Rand Paul can say, "I told you so." But I think we've got to give the president the benefit of the doubt here, and I think he's got a plan. He knows what he's doing.
Yep. All right, well, man, hey, congratulations once again. Ben, it's great to hear your voice. God bless you guys, and take care.
You're a great guy, and if you want a car, I'd encourage you go to Principal Toyota Memphis.
It is
the
a great
best
dealership.
People, and shout out to all their incredible team.
Todd, thanks a lot again, and great folks over there. I'm actually looking at a new vehicle, by the way. I'm gonna have to go give Lochner a call. The Cadillac. It's just, man, it's a gas guzzler. It's a gas guzzler.
Well, Todd, it's massive.
It is.
You need like a punch bug or a PT Cruiser, one of those little.
I don't want one of those little box cars. I look like I'm in a Shriners parade.
And remember those smart cars? They were tiny, little guys.
Oh yeah, the little box cars.
Yeah.
I had to drive one of those because Anderson Cooper got the last SUV. We were heading down to cover the Gulf oil spill.
He didn't take the smart car. He left you in the smart car.
Yeah, he got the big black SUV. I got a cherry red box car, and I looked like I was a one-man Shriners parade. People were, and by the way, Fox was staying. Our base camp was in the French Quarter, and I was driving through the French Quarter, and people were mocking me. Hey, throw me some beads, mister.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's my life.
That's unfortunate.
All right. You're going to stick around, right?
I'm here.
Yes, you are. Okay. Let's take a break. We've got Tom in Oregon, John in North Carolina. Lines are opening up. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Ben Dieter back with us. This is the Todd Stern Show.
Can't hear the whole show? Don't worry. Get the Toddcast and listen on your own time at ToddStarnes.com.
When you're working to protect and serve your community and country, you need a degree program that fits into your busy schedule. At Liberty University, you'll find just that. With 100% online program options and no set login times, you can advance your skills without sacrificing your commitments. Plus, we offer exclusive tuition rates and discounts to current and former service members, their spouses, and first responders. Learn more by texting DEGREE to 49595. That's DEGREE to 49595.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and there's no better time to get in shape than right now. That's why I'm really excited that Calitrin is part of my weight loss campaign. Here's my friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
I know spring is already here, and really, how long have you been trying to lose weight? A month, a year? Well, Caltrain's been helping customers lose weight, sleep better, and look better for almost 30 years. So the big question is, what are you waiting for? It only takes a quick visit to our website or a phone call to get started. The product itself has been proven safe and effective, even with medications. It's good for you. It's not going to interfere with any of those. It's going to help tone and tighten. So go to our website today, toploss.com, to save big. That's TOPLOSS.com, or call us 833-TOP-LOSS.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and be sure to use that promo code TODD.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. By the way, you can pre-order your copy of Star Spangled Blessings on Amazon, wherever you buy your books. Target, Walmart, Barnes & Noble. It's literally everywhere, folks. And you'll be able to purchase a copy in person starting on Tuesday. Well, joining us here in studio, an alumni of the show, Ben Dieter, now working up on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. And we want to go to the phones here and talk to Patty in North Carolina, WSIC. And Patty, you're on the air with me and Ben.
I know. I didn't know he was going to be here today because I called Wednesday. I know you're not allowed to call twice, but I love him and I love you, and it's so cool. I just like to hear his voice. He uplifts you. He's very. I love that guy.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a high compliment, I would say.
I
Dieter.
wish everybody would be as kind as Patty. Patty, it is so good to hear your voice, and you sound like you're doing good. And I know you're still so fiery. We were talking briefly during the break about her position on Israel, and I think, Patty, what you told me, what you need to tell Todd, you're spot on there.
Yeah, I'm glad Israel, I'll tell you right now, I love the Jewish people because they're tough. Their Air Force is tough, they're tough, and so is Donald Trump. And guess what? They took out all those, what did they take out? How many scientists? And they took out all those other idiots. Let me tell you something. That's where we're hurting them. We're hurting them right where their pocket money is. And guess who paid for that? Wasn't it Obama? Was it Obama gave them the money for the nuclear, right? Is it? So we're kicking some rear end here, okay?
We are, Patty, and look, Trump gave them all the options. Trump tried to tell them, hey, look, you guys need to deal with this, and if you don't, well, Israel may end up unleashing the Kraken on you, and that's exactly what happened last night. They released the Kraken.
Oh, yeah, it was the greatest thing I've seen. I'm telling you right now, I was so happy. I hate what's going on in this country, but you know what? I believe that's all going to pass, too. I think, let me tell you something. Todd, you know what makes me more mad than anything? When I see people burning our flag and spitting on that flag, I want to get them. I like to punch them right in the face. I want to get them. I'm glad I'm not in L.A. because I would be probably, I don't know what I would be. I would be going crazy. I hate that. Do not burn that while they're carrying Hamas flags and Mexican flags. Todd, what is up with that?
Well, I say corral them all, and the folks that are flying the foreign flags, boom, you're out of here. You're gone. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Todd, I'm sorry, but it made me sick when they're spitting on it. Todd, I would die for that flag. You know that? Me. I would die for that flag.
I know you would, Patty, and I know a lot of other Americans would as well, and it's just absolutely just enraging to see what's happening out on the streets. And by the way, that is going to be happening across the country tomorrow, including in Statesville. And I want to encourage you folks, don't get suckered into all of this. And
I ain't going out. You know what? I'm not doing nothing. You know what? And you know who's starting all this? And I'm going to tell you right now, Bondi better get on Walmart, Walden. She's starting this King thing. I think she's, those things are being sold in Walmart, those masks. I'm telling you, she is helping these people, that heiress from Walden.
Sam Walton, yeah, the founder of Walmart. And now Walmart is coming out, and they're trying to put some distance by saying, well, she's not affiliated with the day-to-day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She's using Walmart profits to stage these communist marches across America over the weekend. And that's really what they are. Anti-Trump rallies. And by the way, we're hearing that they may be trying to, some of these leftists will be dressed as MAGA people to try and cause chaos and, fake news and the whatnot. So that's why I'm encouraging people, just stay away from this nonsense tomorrow.
I'm not even on Statesville. A couple of people have called me and they're like, "You want to go?" And no, you know what? I'm not. You're right. I'm not going to go and be a pawn. They're all. Listen, this is all going to pass.
Oh yeah. And Patty, hang tight. We gotta run, Patty, dear. But God bless you. We love hearing from you.
Love you, Patty.
All right, Patty. Thank you for calling in. All right, hang tight, everybody. We got to take a quick break here. 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all are going to sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
And wolf?
Oh, a wolf. Ooh!
What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/
the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. It is Open Line Friday. We're sort of decompressing after the big launch party last night. Ben Dieter is joining us here in studio. We're also going to be talking to our great Republican strategist, Josh Jones. He came down for the big shindig, and we'll be talking to him in just a few minutes. I want to go right away to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line and say hello to our good friend, Joe Messina, out in Santa Clarita, California. Joe, how's it going out there today?
Oh, it's going to be hot, and it's going to be crazy over this weekend because they're going to stir it up again. You know that, Todd.
Yeah, I mean, this has been insane, because when you listen to little Jimmy Kimmel or all the Democrats, they're saying that there have been no riots, there have been no protests, there haven't been any cars blown up, that it's just a peaceful gathering and demonstration. So you're there. What are you seeing?
Yeah, well, it's all AI, Todd. It's just all AI anyway. But no, I'm seeing it. Actually, I drove around the fringes the other day, and you can see the remnants of the damage that's been done still in the streets, pieces and parts of bricks. And a friend of mine that was actually down there and took pictures of what was happening. And it's not, they're trying to make it sound like it was contained to one small area, and it was just one small group. But it wasn't. People aren't even, they're not reading, they're not talking to people. I have a friend of mine, a retired FBI agent, that said, they are overwhelmed down there. And if the National Guard are pulled away, it's going to get even worse. I talked to a fellow yesterday that owns 20 subway outlets here in Southern California, and he said he had 2 of his stores down in that area that the windows were smashed and the windows were graffitied. Todd, I'm not a really educated guy. I barely made it out of high school, and I'm still trying to understand how smashing windows, painting buildings, burning police cars, hitting cops gets your point across that you want to stay in this country. I'm totally lost.
It makes no sense to me. Also, what doesn't make sense to me is your senator out there, Padilla. This guy yesterday disrupting the press conference that Kristi Noem was having. I mean, this is just absolutely bonkers crazy.
They don't have statesmen anymore. Okay, what they have is these these reactionary revolutionists. Why he could? First of all, he's a senator. He couldn't wait till she was done. He couldn't ask questions like everybody else. He couldn't reach out to her office earlier to set up an appointment while she was in town. I mean, all these things that they're pushing away, and they think he was manhandled, he was pulled out of it, he wasn't given his constitutional rights. Most of these people can't even spell Constitution. I'm sure they haven't even cursory read the Constitution. And you don't lunge. Well, you got the Secret Service there. I don't care who you are. You don't lunge at somebody that's giving a speech, answering questions. Wait your turn, and you'll get to do it. This is all kabuki theater with these people.
Well, we're going to play the audio here so people can actually hear what happened as Secretary Noem was giving a press conference in California. And by the way, Padilla was at the congressional baseball game the night before. How is it that he wound up the next morning at this presser unless he was flown there in a private jet? The whole thing was just staged. But here's what it sounded like, cut number 9.
We have a constitution. We follow that constitution and the laws that have been passed by our Congress, and we're going to make sure they are equally applied to every single person as it applies under the Constitution here in Los Angeles, but also across the country. As our law enforcement officers have been assaulted, they've been pelted with rocks and bricks. Their cars have been set on fire. Molotov cocktails have been used. We have seen people throw bottles and hammers at them. We've also seen that they have been attacked and verbally spit on or punched or assaulted, and it's just not acceptable. The Department of Homeland Security and the officers and the agencies and the departments and the military people that are working on this operation will continue to sustain and increase our operations in this city. We are not going away. We are staying here to liberate this city from the socialist and the burdensome leadership that this governor and that this mayor have placed on this country and what they have tried to insert into this city. So I want to say thank you to every single person that has been able to do this. Also, I want to talk specifically to the rioters and to the politicians in Los Angeles.
Half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your
I also want to talk about specifically.
All right. So I wanted to play the whole context, Messina, because the media is not doing that. because now Padilla is out there, and the guy was like almost in tears. I was attacked, and they just beat me, and they took me to the ground, and they made me get my hands up. And I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? This guy was literally lunging. By the way, he didn't have his Senate security pin on. Nobody knew who this guy was. He's lunging at the secretary, and the feds took this guy down and out, and he's lucky he wasn't tasered.
You know, Todd, pin or no pin, he's an elected official. He knows what's going on. He knows what decorum is all about. If he didn't like what she had to say, he could have raised his head at the very end. He could have done a little presser afterwards that I was there. Again, they do believe, remember something, there is nobody above the law unless there's a D in front after your name, right? I mean, think of all the things that they have done, pushing our ICE agents around. You know, Maxine Waters, God bless her. I know she tries, but you're trying to get into these places and she's screaming, I'm a congresswoman. I have every right to go. Actually, you don't. I don't know what makes you think you do. So they are above the law. They don't want any rules for them. They don't want any boundaries for them. And I think I'm believing that it's going to come to backfire for them in the upcoming elections. I really do. I think even rank and file Democrats, a lot of my black friends, a lot of my Hispanic friends are saying the same thing, that I don't know what these people are doing. They don't stand for me.
Joe Messina joining us on our Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line today. And again, going back to Secretary Noem and the senator, you know, MSNBC, Nicole Wallace was just beside herself. She says this is one of the worst tragedies in American history. So now it's no longer J6. It's Alex Padilla getting, you know, hogtied and dragged out of Secretary Noem's press conference.
You know, Todd, I would like to see these J7ers, we can call them, arrested, rounded up like the J6ers were, put in the jail. But they start screaming that, hey, how come these people haven't had time in court? You go, well, no, we're just following the same rules that you laid out for the J6ers. I mean, think about what they're doing here. Look, I don't believe I don't believe that those people that were smashing windows, burning police cars, doing all that stuff, I don't believe that those are the actual immigrants that want to stay in this country. I don't believe it for a second. You know, these are paid agitators. And the people out there, you know, what says more, I want to stay in this country, than when you break into a jewelry store and wipe out all the guys' jewels in there? I mean, nothing says I want to stay in this country more than doing something like that. And the Dems are truly doubling and tripling down on all the things that helped them lose the election. Lawlessness. They don't care about any of that stuff. They think they got total controls. They're total dictator, as far as I'm concerned. They're acting like total dictators. And, you know, Newsom, I don't know if you've been watching him, but, you know, here's a guy that still wants to be president, although I don't think he has a shot at this point. And he's going nose to nose with Trump, not talking about the issues we're having here, has done nothing to help those people's homes have burned down, did nothing or was going to do nothing to help them over the last weekend during the riots. And I don't know if you caught it. You probably did. He flat out lied about his conversation with Trump, said Trump never tried to get a hold of him or called him. They were able to prove that they were on the phone for 16 minutes. Now, I don't know. I don't want to believe this, but maybe it's the drugs that are keeping Newsom from remembering that he had a conversation with Trump.
Could be. It could be. Joe, we're going to have to leave it there, my friend. Always good hearing from you.
All right. Thanks for having me on, Todd. God bless. Have a safe weekend.
All right. The great Joe Messina out in Santa Clarita, California. By the way, our telephone number on this Open Line Friday, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. I have to tell you about our friends over at Patriot Mobile. They have a plan to fit any budget, and what an incredible cell phone company they are. Patriot Mobile, America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, and they send a portion of their profits to support ministries and programs that are protecting our rights, protecting the unborn. We love our friends at Patriot Mobile, mobilizing for freedom. I want you to give them a call, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT, or go to their website, patriotmobile.com/Todd. They have a plan to fit any budget. Use my promo code Todd, and they're going to give you free activation starting from their $25 a month plan all the way up to their ultimate plan of $75 a month. They also have special discounts for all veterans and first responders. So you're going to love this, folks. the very best 4G and 5G networks, nationwide coverage, and you are supporting a Christian conservative company. PatriotMobile.com/Todd. That's PatriotMobile.com/Todd.
You're with Todd Starnes.
As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. Now, he didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Now, Mike is offering the best deal on his Giza Dream bed sheets. Any size, any color, just $49.98. That's right. You can even get the Queens, Kings, Split Kings, and Cal Kings. Any size, any color, just $49.98. Order now because when they're gone, they're gone. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 in merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Call 1-800-839-8506. Use the promo code STARNS or go to mypillow.com. Use the promo code STARNS for the amazing offer of $49.98 on the Giza Dream sheets, any size, any color. That number again, 1-800-839-8506, promo code STARNS.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm here in San Diego. I mean, I surf, I'm active, I'm an ex-college athlete. Well, I decided, I'm going to try that Balance of Nature. Let's just see what happens. Like after about a month and a half, man, what a difference. That sold me right there. That's when I was like, this stuff's working, so I'm going to stick with it. And so I've been sticking with it ever since. Seems like to be the real deal.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Todd.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I want to go back to what happened last night with Israel and say this. What an example of courage to step out. And we all know that freedom, there comes a price with freedom. It is not free. And sometimes we have to fight for our freedom. That's what our founding fathers did. They put everything on the line, young and old. And we are a free nation because of that. Every generation has to fight for freedom. I think the greatest generation, the World War II generation, they understood that. Every generation has to stand and answer the call. And when you look at Israel and the nation of Israel and the attempts by great evil to literally wipe the Jewish people from the face of the earth, here they are in their own nation, their own lands, and they are standing up and doing what needed to be done. And on this program, we stand with Israel. And I know that's becoming an unpopular opinion among many in the conservative world. But as for me and my house, we support the nation of Israel. And we say God bless them. And we certainly pray for the safety of all of those soldiers, those young men and young women that are fighting to secure their safety for their families. One nuclear bomb, Israel's wiped off the face of the earth. That's what we're talking about here. And Iran, they had an opportunity. President Trump gave them that opportunity, and they chose to ignore it, and now they're paying the price. Hashtag FAFO. Let's go to the phone lines here. Tom in Salem, Oregon, listening to us on KYKN. Hey, Tom, what's on your mind today?
Hey there. Very good. Yeah, I got my mocha run in and my coffee, second or third, and we're doing it. But basically, the one thing I haven't heard mentioned about Doge is Section 8. I'm a landlord. I have a couple, or I got about 3 on it, and one of them pays nothing. We're paying the whole bill. And that's probably over $1,200 a month. And the other one, I think she's paying about $100, $110, and her rent's probably around $1,300. And I've never seen one where they required them to get off. I think somebody like the one where she's paying $110, she's like a retired nurse, but still plenty active. She could be doing some work or that. I don't see any motivation being applied to get them off of it. And actually, one time I talked a gal into going to work at Dollar Tree and finally got her out of the house and making money, and she thanked me for it.
So you're telling me you've got all these people living in Section 8 housing, and they're capable of working, but they're not.
Yeah, I think there's something, capable for doing something, even calling on, telephone soliciting or something like that, using the phone or internet, my God. So that's, and I'm a small guy, really, relative in the landlord business, and I'd hate to see, how much money is just going out. It's a biggie. Besides whatever else, food stamps and all that,
Well, that's the thing, Tom. It's that, unfortunately, we've got generations of families that have been, raised up in public and government funded, or the taxpayer funded government housing, government programs. They are entirely reliant upon the federal government for every single aspect of their life. That is a dangerous thing. And it is going to be painful to wean people off of that government help. Now, Tom, I don't know how you feel about this. I think there are times when, the American people, you're going to have a hard time, and you may need some help to feed your family. You may need some help to pay your bills. And I get that, but it's not meant to be permanent. It's just to kind of help you get through a rough patch. I would, quite frankly, I believe that the churches in America just stopped doing what was their responsibility, and they offloaded that to the federal government, and I think it's created all sorts of problems.
Yeah.
All right, well,
they use it as a motivation by bringing them across the border and giving them credit cards.
That's exactly what they're doing. We got to stop that, Tom. Tom, thank you for that call. Let's go to John in Morehead City, North Carolina. John, what's on your mind today?
Todd, you asked the question the other day about amnesty, and I know an amnesty program that will definitely work real good.
I'm all ears.
They have a travel package. They give them a little stipend. Their problems with the federal government going to the judicial system and the charges they'd be facing if they stay here will be gone. All they have to do is self-deport.
It's pretty simple, isn't it, John? I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right? Self-deport.
And they can have a chance to apply to be a citizen of this great country. You know, how simple is that? I think anybody that didn't have schooling can understand this one. So why can't our Congress go ahead and tell them, you're not here legally, self-deport and come back legally, and we'll be happy to have you.
I still want to know, and again, we hear the caveat, right, John, is that, well, what about all these people? They've been here 20 years. They've been working hard. They've got jobs. They're, productive members of society. Okay, well, have they been paying taxes? And if so, how have they paid their taxes? Do they have a phony Social Security number? I mean, there are so many questions about that because it's not as simple as that. You are cheating and stealing, even if you have a job here in the United States, if you're here illegally.
So how much is my hospital bill be reduced if that 20 to 30 or 40 million that's been in this country are no longer here, and I don't have to worry about them going to the ER, or the SNAP program or the Medicaid or any other government system program. If they were all gone, how much money would we save? I'm tired of them wanting to play these little games. Let's do it plain and simple. There's Mike 8 LCUs that we retired out of the Navy, tie them together, put them on down there in Miami or Charleston or Norfolk or New York City, and send them back to their countries on the East Coast. And on the West Coast, L.A. and, of course, San Francisco's got plenty of areas to ship people out and send them back home.
Yeah, John, I like the way you think, my friend, and it makes a lot of sense to me. Thank you for calling in. Thanks for holding on, too, John. I really appreciate that over in Morehead City. The Talk Station, great station out there in eastern North Carolina. All right, hang tight, everybody. Hour 3 coming up. And, again, getting some new intel on these, what could be a very dangerous Saturday and violent Saturday across the nation tomorrow, these No King radical protests. We'll be talking about that. Our number, Open Line Friday, by the way, 901-260-5926. This is The Todd Starnes Show.
Attention, Patriots. Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
America doesn't need barbed wire or secret police to lose freedom. All it takes is silence. Live Not by Lies is a gripping docuseries by Angel Studios that reveals how soft totalitarianism is creeping into everyday life. Through powerful stories from people who lived under communism, it warns of what happens when we surrender truth for safety. This is a must-watch for anyone who loves faith, family, and freedom. Stream the series now, only on Angel Guild, by visiting angel.com/Starnes. As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. Now, he didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Now, Mike is offering the best deal on his Giza Dream bed sheets. Any size, any color, just $49.98. That's right. You can even get the Queens, Kings, Split Kings, and Cal Kings. Any size, any color, just $49.98. Order now because when they're gone, they're gone. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 in merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Call 1-800-839-8506. Use the promo code STARNS or go to mypillow.com. Use the promo code STARNS for the amazing offer of $49.98 on the Giza Dream sheets, any size, any color. That number again, 1-800-839-8506, promo code STARNS. Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GPS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code GPS for a $5 bonus.
A Lyft driver in Detroit, Michigan, facing a lawsuit after he told a supersized passenger that she was unliftable. Dank DeMoss is a well-known rap artist. She tips the scales just shy of 500 pounds, alleging a Lyft driver refused to provide her service because he said she would not fit in his car. The driver told Dank his tires could not handle her weight. Now, the guy wasn't rude about it. Just matter of fact, he even apologized and suggested she order an XL vehicle. He also promised a refund, but that was not good enough. Attorneys for the rap artist say what the driver did was illegal in Michigan. They claim weight is a protected class. They say the driver discriminated against their client. However, the driver might have a good defense because most car experts say obese passengers can not only affect tires on a car, but also shocks and brakes. Regardless, this case could have ginormous implications for the rideshare world. I'm Todd Starnes.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. What an honor to have you with us today. I want you to write down our number. It is Open Line Friday. Now, look, here's the deal. This is an homage to the late, great Rush Limbaugh, and put a pin in that for just a moment. We were honored to have Paul Shanklin joining us last night at the book launch party. He and his beautiful wife, his beautiful bride of many years now, they just got back from a massive tour of Scotland, and it was great to have Shanklin there, and he brought along Barney Fife and President Ronald Reagan. I don't know how he was able to do that, but that was a wild time there at the book launch party. But as an homage to Rush, and of course Paul was Rush's chief parody writer for many years, we decided to launch Open Line Friday, where we try to keep everybody focused on the topics at hand, basically what I want to talk about, Monday through Thursday. But on Friday, we open up the phone lines and you can talk about what you want to talk about. So write down our number, 901-260-5926. Here with us in studio today is our good friend, our former executive producer, now working on Capitol Hill, Ben Dieter. Dieter, I'm curious, is it weird now that you have to kind of you're not in the spotlight anymore?
No, I'm nervous even being back on the radio.
You have to watch what you say now.
Yeah.
I mean, every time you used to come on the show, we had to have the finger on the button.
The dump button.
Just in case.
And yeah, you and I together, we caused a lot of controversy, specifically in the city that we broadcast the show in. So it's definitely interesting being back on the radio, but they say this about this industry and radio specifically. It's a great medium. It's been around forever, and it will always be. It gets in your blood, and I do miss radio.
So you gotta spill some dirt here. What can you tell us that things that we should know but we don't know about what's happening up on Capitol Hill?
Do you know that Capitol Hill is basically run by kids? Like, it should frighten you. I think the medium age of congressional staffers is 22 years old. I'm old on the Hill. I'm 26 years old. I'm one of the oldest people in the building, except for all the members. I mean, Maxine's, out there.
Then they go from you go from mid-20s to upper 80s.
Yeah.
That's a big gap.
So if you go to the Hill, you've got 14,000 kids essentially running the government. Of course, we're working for our members, but that was new to me. The other thing I will say is it feels a lot like high school / maybe college. Because it's so young, it is fast. But in the basement, you probably have all been on a Capitol Hill tour. You go to your district in your respective state, and an intern walks you through the basement. You see the members. They're getting on the subway cars to zip over to go vote. So they have different cafeterias in each of the buildings in the basement. And so Meatloaf Day is a Tuesday. And you've got to go to a specific building in the basement to get that meatloaf.
Is that right?
Barbecue Day, it's not Memphis barbecue.
No,
okay?
it's not barbecue.
But
then.
it's a
just
Monday.
Meat with sauce on
And
it.
so you go to the Library of Congress, which we can access through the basement, through the tunnels. It's all underground. And the Library of Congress has a cafeteria for Hill staffers.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you have to pay? Is it free?
Unfortunately, you do have to pay, but we get a discount.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Well, we'll try to probe for more intel.
When are you coming to Washington?
Yeah,
Because you're always there, and I want to give you a tour.
Yeah, I am going to be there in a couple of weeks. Actually,
I'm going to give you the Dieter tour.
Okay. Hey, I'm all over that. Hey, let's go to the phones. Jim in Memphis, Tennessee, listening to us on KWAM. And Jim, I understand you were at the book party last night.
Oh, good afternoon. Yes, we had a wonderful time. We're sitting here at the Cozy Corner, and we're all listening to you while we're eating barbecue. So, Dieter, a little bit of home for you at one of the classic Memphis locations. But we had a wonderful time. We were part of a wonderful crowd that we all thank you for 200 different plus reasons for doing what you do and what you've been to our market, and as you've expanded, we've all watched you grow. It's really been terrific. My wife and I, Jan, thank you ourselves because you were so kind to us in so many ways when we got started. Only two other things I wanted to quickly mention. You guys are the heart of the right-wing communications network in this country, and you know how, and you guys kid about how the word of the day among the Democrats, you know, it might be sassafras, and every Democratic member of Congress and all the media used sassafras that day, and it sounds very impressive. We could be doing that ourselves on the right side, and Todd, you could be coordinating that. You are the heart of the network. And the only other thing I wanted to say was, evil is a living being. It's the devil. He's alive and he's working against us. It's not a psychological feeling, and people forget about that. But that's my list, and I'm sticking to it. And God bless you both. Thanks.
Well, God bless you, Jim, and please tell Jan it was great to see. It was so great to see both of you guys, and please tell everyone at the Cozy Corner they have been doing authentic Memphis barbecue since 1977. So they've been around for a while, and you guys picked a great place to get some barbecue.
Hey, by the way, I don't think you mentioned this about the party last night. There was a theme. Did you tell everybody what the theme was?
Red, white, and blue.
But like Uncle Sam showed up. All the women had Trump earrings.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody had Donald Trump earrings. It was crazy.
It was a lot of fun. And by the way, that was Jim. Jim is a good friend of this radio station. He and his wife, literally, when I say mom and pop are the owners and the employees of one of the best popcorn companies in America. It is unbelievable. It's Wolf River Popcorn. WolfRiverPopcorn.com is the website. And I am telling you, they have some of the finest popcorn. If you love spicy, you got to get the Memphis Mix, which is incredibly spicy.
The Beale Street Blend is incredible.
And the Classic Caramel is my personal favorite. And it is a family recipe. And what I love about their, sometimes you buy the store-bought popcorn, and it's not crunchy. Mm-hmm. It's it's got a little chew to it. I hate that. This is super crunchy, and I don't know how they do it, but it is amazing. And so I would encourage you, order some of this. And what I love about Jim and his wife, they're good Christian folks, and they actually have a Christian message on all of their packaging.
Yeah.
Kind of like the In-N-Out Burger folks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's right at the bottom of their packaging. Every bag of popcorn, the best popcorn in America.
And so Jim does not pay us to do that, but he should bring over some popcorn.
He does. That's the thing. He'll actually listen and bring us a bag.
I know he'll bring us. There'll be a case of popcorn downstairs. WolfRiverPopcorn.com. What I love about it's a mom and pop business, and we love those kinds of businesses and promoting those folks. By the way, all natural, non-GMO. It is a gourmet flavor, and they just do it up the right way. And we love them. We love our friends over at Dinstall's Chocolates, for example. Just good people, and we love supporting small businesses all over America. And you know, it's funny. We were I was voicing some ads for a business or two in Gainesville, Georgia, and I love doing that kind of stuff. And we love supporting local businesses, whether in Memphis or Gainesville or Salem or Bartlesville or Houston or wherever, because that really is the backbone of this country.
This is a small business. We are a small business.
Well, we're kind of large, though. I mean, we have a big imprint.
We have a big stick.
Well, yeah, Elizabeth from Caltrans is trying to fix that.
In a big microphone.
All right, 901-260-5926. Ben Dieter here with us. Ben, I was saving a couple of these stories for you because you're kind of into the whole, culture stuff. And there's someone named Glorilla who is a rapper. And Glorilla is female. And she is from the Memphis area. And she does a lot of good. I mean, she gives back to the schools and does all of that stuff.
Her real name is Gloria Hallelujah.
Is that her real name?
That is actually her real name.
Really?
And Glorilla is short. Yes, you can Google it. Gloria Hallelujah.
So how do we get Glorilla from that? Why don't you call yourself Gloria Hallelujah? That's a great rapper name.
I don't know that the rap culture, Todd, is going to embrace Gloria Hallelujah, but that could just be me.
So here's the thing, and I don't want to get too weird on this, but I have been following, we all grew up in the Christian music world on DC Talk. That was like Christian rap music, which really wasn't, but anyway. And then Michael Tate goes on, to the Newsboys, and apparently massive scandal there. So the Christian music world has been rocked.
Oh, you can't forget about Skillet. Those are the real rock bands. They're incredible.
Oh, we love Skillet.
I love Skillet.
But the whole point is they're having some issues in the Christian music world.
Oh.
And now they've got another problem because apparently they're giving Glorilla a Christian Music Award. It's the BET Gospel Award. And she is a secular rapper. So anyway, there are people that are now upset. Dr. Bobby Jones, who is the one of the top gospel singers in America, said that gospel music is not her space. Anyway, Glorilla says, first of all, I want to thank God because this is a gospel award. Yeah, I think we're all saying that. This is my first BET award, even though I've been here 3 years to get nominated 6 times. Oh, I think she's a little butthurt about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blessing to get the gospel award first because I owe it all to God. Now, I'm just going to ask this question. Do you guys listen? Dylan, you told me you were going to a Glorilla concert.
Oh, no. His mom's listening to the radio.
Is this true?
Yeah, I'm going.
Oh, no.
He's going to pass out gospel tracks.
In the 56th row, yeah.
Is her music kind of like regular rap music? Is it really profane?
It's pretty profane, yeah. Every other word, I'd say.
So how is I just don't understand how that purports to be now gospel music.
She did one song with a Christian artist, and I guess that makes you a Christian.
Oh, is that it now?
Yeah, and I mean,
that's a low bar.
I mean, if that's what it takes to get a BET award, maybe she thought maybe the gospel genre was the only way to get it. It's vile. Some of the lyrics, I will say, are really, really, shall we say, let's just say they're inappropriate. So I guess the question, if you're listening to her latest album, of which this Christian song is on, if you're listening to song 3, 4, 5, you don't want your kids in the car. Song 6 is the Christian one. And so is that a disconnect?
Rain Down on Me. I'm afraid of the lyrics. Oh, you're right. Glory Hallelujah Woods.
Yeah.
That is a fine rap. Do you call him rapist? Rapette? Oh, she's a rapper. Or
you better be careful here.
Gender neutral? Okay.
Let's stay away from me.
All right. Anyway, I'm not a fan, so I just don't know. Here's an interesting story. Do you, Ben Dieter, when you want to buy something, do you buy it on your laptop or do you buy it in person or do you buy it on your phone?
My phone.
Really?
What do you do?
Well, if it's like a big purchase, and this is the article here from Newsweek, is that millennials are really frowning on Gen Z because they're making purchases on their phones that they ought to be making on their laptops, which boomers would be making on the telephone. like the real landline phones.
So what you're saying is you're using cash and I'm using a cash app. That's an actual
Or
app.
for example, according to Newsweek, a guy bought a plane ticket on his phone using his phone. And someone said, no, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be buying those plane tickets on your laptop. You shouldn't be buying stuff like that on your phone.
Well, I think everything you put on your phone is out there. And so when you're making these bigger purchases, I mean, think about it. You have to put your credit card number in there. You have to put that CVC code in there. Some people are going to ask for a social security number, not as often if you're just making a regular purchase, say Best Buy. So I think the issue here is just the security concerns. Like my parents, my grandparents, they still love using cash. I don't even remember the last time I had $1.01. And I think it's generational.
Well, you work for the government now, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. They don't pay well, do they?
It's not this industry.
Older millennials are typically more comfortable on traditional web platforms, laptops, long-form blogs, while Gen Z thrives on the streamlined mobile-first experience of apps like TikTok and others to get their purchases. I would agree, though, as far as like a security thing, I think that would be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So you want to buy a car, just get out your smartphone.
Well, you hear this term cashless society. And that's where I think a lot of people are moving towards. I think that's dangerous when everything is cashless, because what happens if someone hits the light switch and the servers go down and we lose all of our technology? It's all going to be on our phone, and then you're going to, hope you actually have something physical.
Cash or gold or
Yeah.
silver, precious metals.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why our friends at U.S. Vault Gold are come in handy. All right, we got to take a break here. I am curious, folks, do you make major purchases on your smartphone, or do you do that on your laptop, or the old-fashioned way, going in person and writing a check? Do you have checks?
What's a check?
I can't. I should have even asked that question. How many people have? When was the last time you actually wrote a check, ladies and gentlemen? My Gen Z staff here, they're shaking their heads. They have no idea what I'm talking about. 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Stern Show.
Triggering microaggressions from coast to coast. You're listening to Todd Starnes.
Hey, Patriots, Todd Starnes here with big news. Trump's fighting for our country to get it back on the right track, battling China, who's likely dumping treasuries to sink the dollar, and facing tariffs that are having a sharp bite on the stock market. Now, Trump is playing the long game for America, putting Americans first. But like hard work, there's always going to be some pain. So you've got to play smart, too. Secure your hard-earned savings and retirement with Vault U.S. Gold. Their IRS-approved gold IRAs let you roll over your IRA or 401k with a no-commission pros. Safe, simple, tax-smart, protecting your future. Want it in hand? Well, their direct delivery program ships insured gold and silver to your door, offering privacy, yours to store securely. Real assets that you can hold and touch for tough times. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653 or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd Starnes for your free investor kit. And tell them Todd sent you, and don't go unprotected. Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and there's no better time to get in shape than right now. That's why I'm really excited that Calitrin is part of my weight loss campaign. Here's my friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
I know spring is already here, and really, how long have you been trying to lose weight? A month, a year? Well, Calitrin's been helping customers lose weight, sleep better, and look better for almost 30 years. So the big question is, what are you waiting for? It only takes a quick visit to our website or a phone call to get started. The product itself has been proven safe and effective, even with medications. It's good for you. It's not going to interfere with any of those. It's going to help tone and tighten. So go to our website today, toploss.com, to save big. That's TOPLOSS.com, or call us 833-TOP-LOSS.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and be sure to use that promo code TODD.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, well, welcome back, everybody. This is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. So during the break, the entire staff came in, and they're like, they're trying to understand how you fill out how do you write a check and how you balance your checkbook. And are they not teaching this in school anymore? That's what I don't understand. So we're going to have to get to the bottom of this. But I was literally explaining, okay, because Dieter was like, do you have to use cursive? When you're writing a check, do you have to write cursive? Also, trying to figure out how do you write out, if your check is $500.28, you have to write it all out. And it was like foreign, I may as well have been speaking Mandarin Chinese. I think our schools are failing our young people, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I think is going on here. But a lot of people just don't use checks like they used to. I will say this, one of the things I do love about the bank I use is that I'm able to take a picture of the check and immediately deposit it on my phone. And I love that. You don't have to worry about going to the bank, getting mugged, getting carjacked. You can do it from the comfort of your office. And I love that. All right, well, coming up, we'll be taking your calls on that. Do you teach your kids how to balance a checkbook? Do you teach them how to use one? Do you even use a checkbook anymore? 901-260-5926, our number. That's 901-260-5926. Coming up, we're going to be hanging out again with Ben Dieter, and Josh Jones joins us from Washington, D.C., our top Republican strategist. He knows everything. We'll be talking to him coming up next. Hang tight, everybody. This is The Todd Starnes Show. We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Stearns. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code STARNES and you're going to save an extra 10%.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/
the right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right. Sirens going off as a barrage of missiles have been fired over Tel Aviv. Looks like the Iranians are trying to strike the central downtown district of Tel Aviv. Iran is pushing back after Israel took out their nuclear sites yesterday. Welcome back to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. By the way, if you want to, I would encourage you to go right away to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, wherever you get your books, and pre-order a copy of Star Spangled Blessings Devotions for Patriots. It'll be in bookstores officially on Tuesday. Last night we had our huge book launch party, and always exciting to have Ben Dieter back in Memphis, Tennessee, and Josh Jones, one of our great Republican strategists, and has worked to elect a lot of great Republicans. Josh, welcome to Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Todd.
So are you adjusting well to the southern states?
Well, I mean, listen, I count myself as a southern boy at heart, growing up in Southwest Virginia. But yeah, no, it's been great, particularly to get out of the D.C. beltway a little bit. So it's been fun.
So you're from the country in Virginia, is that right?
Yeah. If you're familiar with Virginia, I'm from the Bristol area.
All right, so that's the Tri-Cities area.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. God, you don't have an accent. What's up with that?
Well, see, if you ask some people in D.C., apparently I do. So whenever I go home, everybody's like, where'd your accent go? And I come back, and then I go to D.C., and it's like, wow, you have such a strong accent. So I don't know. I can't please either side when it comes to that.
Dieter, what about you? I mean, you're from Pennsylvania.
So I've learned that D.C., they have an accent, and it's give me, give me, give me. It's lobbying. That is their accent. That's very interesting.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's a real accent in D.C. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I am in Tennessee's delegation, and so a lot of those Capitol Hill staffers are from Tennessee in this area, and they are all from different places in the southern states, big SEC schools. So those girls come in there, they're answering those phone calls when you call your senator. You're getting accents, specifically if your member is in one of these southern states. It's diversity, as they say.
I like
Lots
diversity.
of diversity.
So you're a Liberty University grad as well. When you moved to Washington, is it what you expected it would be as far as working in politics?
I mean, I don't know if there's a right answer to that. It's a little bit of both. Because coming out of Liberty, I moved to Richmond, the state capital, because of Governor Glenn Youngkin winning his election. And working with his administration, then going to D.C. after the fact. I will say going to D.C. versus working in Richmond, things move so much slower. In Richmond, you can actually get a bill done pretty quickly, whereas you go to D.C., it takes months and months and months, and you pass maybe one bill.
So what's up with that? Why are you guys slacking off, Dieter? What's going on up on Capitol Hill?
Have you seen the congressional calendar? I know you have because you've tweeted about it, Todd.
It looks like it's really bad.
Have you looked out August?
It's really bad. Look, and I get it. I know these guys and gals like to get out there and march in the parades and, eat the food on the stick at the county fairs. But at some point, you got to stick around and do what we elected you to do.
Well, it's a balancing act for a lot of these members, like when you are in recess versus when you are in session. They do jump on airplanes and they go back to their home districts. So right now we're in the congressional district number 8. And so it is imperative that those members do touch the grass in their districts and take back those concerns, those voices, those conversations back to the Beltway. The problem is if you're spending too much time in the district, then there is stuff not getting done in Washington. And ultimately, if we've got the midterms right around the corner, we've got to secure some wins, and we've got to do that fast.
Yeah, midterms coming up, and traditionally, it's not good for the party in control, the majority party.
Right.
What are things shaping up to look like right now? What are your observations?
I mean, the big thing that we should be looking at right now is we have the Virginia governor's election this year, as well as New Jersey. So that'd be a good bellwether for Republicans and Democrats, frankly. Democrats are favored heading into that right now, but if Republicans overperform the estimates, that's a good sign heading into the midterms. And then speaking to Congress and actually getting some bills done, if Congress can come back with some receipts starting next year and say, look at all the things we've accomplished, then that improves Republican standing, obviously.
It's interesting. Trump's getting he's getting blowback, but it's from the weirdest place. So Tucker Carlson, there's a huge delegation, a huge swath of the Republican Party, the conservative movement, I probably should say, and they don't like Israel, and they don't think we ought to be lifting a finger to help Israel. But what I found interesting is nobody's complaining on the Democrat side of the aisle. I don't think, what Trump's involvement here was pretty brilliant strategy, and not even the Democrats can find anything to complain about right now.
I will say this. You look at, as we approach the midterms, and everybody's freaking out. Everybody's sweating. Oh, my gosh, we're not getting these EOs codified, Doge cuts. While there is frustration and Congress does have to roll up their sleeves, they've got to get to work. Democrats, congressional Democrats specifically, their approvals are way lower than ours.
In the toilet.
They're way lower than President Trump. President Trump's approval ratings, there was I think it was Rasmussen just a couple days ago, his approval ratings, specifically on topics like immigration, are higher than Joe Biden, President Obama, George W. Bush, where he sits currently in the timeline of this administration, number 2. So we've got work to do, but Democrats, what have they done other than storm detention centers, protest?
And Kristi Noem. Well, they didn't storm Kristi Noem, but you know what I mean. Right. That's kind of inappropriate. But yes, to that point, the Democrats, they've got nothing. I mean, and they don't even have a leader.
Right. And if you look at them, since the Trump administration came to town, they've tried to cling on to these specific issues. First, it was the Maryland man, and now it's the protests, riots in L.A., and nothing's sticking. And they keep changing their message or their core messaging point because nothing's working. And Ben's right. Their approvals are in the floor. They're so bad. And there's no clear leadership on the Democratic side. So I think you're going to keep them, you're going to see them flailing for the foreseeable future unless they get their act together.
Their big word is oligarch. What is an oligarch? I work on the Hill. I still don't even know what that means. Someone needs to give me the Webster definition of what is an oligarch. They're so out of touch because the people back in their district, when they're screaming, "We're standing against kings and oligarchs," we're like, but what are you doing to put money back in my pocket?
Fair question. It is. So you think we could possibly, what are the Republicans going to need to do between now and the midterms to make sure they keep the majority?
Beyond the obvious of getting the Trump agenda implemented through Congress, the big beautiful bill is a first step in that. And also, too, Republicans have to be cognitive of the fact that historically Republicans get out fundraised by Democrats. So Republicans need to be focused on fundraising, both from being involved in the district and then also working on behalf for those conservative principles and getting rewarded for that. So I think that's the big thing right now. We're kind of in the prep phase. And then once we get past this fall's elections, that's when you'll see it kick into high gear.
All right. Josh Jones, Ben Dieter. Dieter, I want to switch gears. I'm fascinated by this story. You don't even know what I'm about to talk about, but I'm fascinated by this story. Now, you grew up among the Amish people. Is that right?
Churn butter all my life.
I'm sorry. Is that an actual thing or a euphemism for something?
I grew up right around the corner from
So you
Amish
literally
country.
churned butter.
Okay, not literally, but Todd, it's to the story.
I thought you said trimming butter, and I'm like, what churning butter? All right, it's that Pennsylvania accent.
It's the Pennsylvania Dutch.
Oh wow! All right, so you churn butter. How do you churn butter? Is that like
Well, you go out to the barn.
Okay.
You're going
Step number 1
to go to the stalls. You'll find your favorite cow. You get your wooden stool. You sit down beside the cow. You go for udder whatever. There's, I think, 4 of them. I don't know. Clearly, I'm exposing myself as I've actually not churned butter. But I grew up in Amish country, and it starts in a barn. And then somehow it ends up in your Kroger.
And you can spread it on your bread. All right, thank you, Farmer Dieter.
We've lost the show. Okay.
Thank you, Farmer Dieter.
Go. All right. So fascinating.
So anyway, I'm just wondering if you ever took part in what I'm about to share with you in the Amish world. Because what is it? Breaking Bad? Is that the Amish? No, that's not it. That's something
Breaking
else.
Amish.
Breaking Amish. I'm sorry.
I tried out for that show.
Amish people. Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Amish people going bad.
What is it? Rumspringa? Something.
Rumsfeld? No,
Yeah.
he was the defense secretary and did a good job. So let me ask you, so did you ever grow the beard?
I can't even grow a mustache.
Oh, is that why they kicked you out of the Amish movement? Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, did you wear the overalls and the hat? I'm asking a lot of probing questions here. I'm intrigued by this.
Yeah, it was a great time. It was a great time. But no, I did not have the facial hair of the Amish.
Okay.
But I do know my way around a horse and buggy. That I will say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So
And even had a little bit of electricity. Not a lot, but that's why I got kicked out and ostracized.
So I'm not believing half the things you're telling me right now, but I do have a question though about this, and I do want to know if you've taken part of this. So they build they're building barns, and so these barns weigh about 35,000 pounds. All right, they build the barns and then they move them over to where they need to be built, on the farm. They move them by hand, so it's like hundreds of Amish men. They gather around the barn and they pick it up and they literally move the barn.
Why don't they just build the barn where the barn should go in the first place?
Well, that's why you're here. You're Amish. Those are your people. I was curious. Why don't you just go ahead and just build it where you want to build it?
They're bad Amish. The right ones will build it in the proper place.
Maybe Mrs. Yoder didn't want it there, so they had to call all the guys together and we got to move it over a couple of yards. Mrs. Yoder in Pennsylvania, Dutch country.
Have you been to an Amish auction before, Todd?
No. I've been to the Coldwater, Mississippi auction. Bought a Velvet Elvis.
Of course. In
and
Coldwater,
it
you would.
It smelled like Elvis. It was really, it had an odor. It wasn't scratch and sniff. It just smelled.
Sometime, Todd, when you're making your tours and you're going to all your different affiliates, I will meet you in Pennsylvania. We'll go to Strasburg, Lancaster County, all of those places, those Amish neighborhoods, and I will take you personally to an Amish auction.
But what's fascinating about this is that the Amish, keep in mind, they are fairly isolated from society. I guess they do some have electricity, or is it all?
No, pretty much they have zero electricity.
Okay, gotcha. So what my point is, they live long lives. They do not struggle with things like chronic obesity, and they don't have high crime rates. And you wonder, what is it the Amish are doing that maybe the rest of us ought to consider doing?
So much.
Churning butter.
Well,
I guess that's a healthy thing.
The thing about the Amish is
upper body strength.
Their political engagement. They're pacifist. And we've seen in different states, they're not the first to run to a political rally. They're not the first to get involved civically. That has changed a lot in Amish communities because they're seeing their issues come under attack under specifically the last administration. So they have a lot going on. And I think to our earlier conversation about sustainability and what happens if World War III were to ever happen, the only people that will survive, I truly believe this, are the people that churn butter and the people like the Amish that have lived this way for years and they're not changing. And I don't know, I think there's a lot to learn from these people. But yeah, you have to spend some time in Strasburg, Pennsylvania to do that.
I'm just wondering, it takes, the estimates are 800 people, or 300 men or whatever. I don't know. They're hundreds of men, and they're literally they call it walking the barn. That's what they call it, or the Amish shed move. So there you go.
Incredible. Thank you. That was a fascinating story. Did not disappoint.
Do you play the banjo or anything? Or
no, I play the piano.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
I'm pretty musical.
All right. Jones, any Amish folks down in Virginia?
Not really, at least not that I know of.
All right, gotcha.
Been to Pennsylvania.
Okay.
There.
A lot in Pennsylvania. All right, well, I just find this to be a fascinating story, and I think if we're going to try to figure out what's wrong with America, we ought to, especially the Maha folks, they ought to go down to Amish country and find out, okay, what is it these guys are doing that is different than everybody else? Because they're living longer, they seem to have much more stable family lives, and everybody seems to be very productive members of society.
Mm-hmm. Except for the ones that get ostracized.
On reality TV.
And they end up on Breaking Amish.
Wow, that's tough. Have you watched, by the way, I'm not a huge fan of the reality stuff, but have you seen the, Mormon Housewives Gone Wild, or whatever that thing is called?
I had the unfortunate misstep of clicking on that the other night, Todd, and I don't think I will ever unsee what I saw.
Sweet Lord.
Do you think that's actually real?
I mean,
it is reality TV.
Well, but it's Utah.
They're wild.
Right? Is it Utah? I'm just assuming. I don't mean to be stereotypical.
It's Mormon country.
So are all the Mormon women married to the same guy, or are they like different spouses?
In that show, different spouses.
Okay, gotcha. Because there are those sects, the SECTS, where a guy has multiple wives, like polygamy.
It's part of their culture.
Well,
not all of it.
Some would say a fundamentalist Mormonism, I suppose.
Mhm.
I don't want to get in a Mormon theology class here. All I know about Mormonism is Donnie and Marie. And I think Hanson, the Mbop guys. I think were they Mormon?
You're getting in trouble.
They may have been Methodist.
You should stop while you're ahead.
I'm going to take a break. We'll be right
Let's
back,
stop.
America.
Sane talk in an insane world. Todd Starnes.
As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. Now, he didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Now, Mike is offering the best deal on his Giza Dream bed sheets. Any size, any color, just $49.98. That's right. You can even get the Queens, Kings, Split Kings, and Cal Kings. Any size, any color, just $49.98. Order now because when they're gone, they're gone. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 in merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Call 1-800-839-8506. Use the promo code STARNS or go to mypillow.com. Use the promo code STARNS for the amazing offer of $49.98 on the Giza Dream sheets, any size, any color. That number again, 1-800-839-8506, promo code STARNS.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm 70 years old and I'm a retired physician. In the last year or two, I've been taking this at night. It's pretty amazing, and I'm not ever going to stop taking it. And there's no doubt about it. There's nothing else that I'm taking. It's the Balance of Nature.
I'm in my 60s. I mean, it's even made me switch my whole eating and everything. It's even affected that. Once I started taking this, I've been very, very happy with it.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Todd.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash. Fantastic. Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, folks, coming up this weekend, I'll be speaking in Lee County, Mississippi at the Trump dinner for the Republican Party there. Then next week, we're off to Wichita. We're doing a big event with Wichita Republican Party, and we'd love to invite everybody out for that. And we'll be giving you more details coming up next week. Then, we head over to Kansas City for the Kansas Republican Party Convention, and I'll be keynoting at the National Right to Life Conference. Two big events coming up in Kansas City. And then Monday, I'll be broadcasting from New York City. Eric and Don Trump, we're doing a sit-down interview, so looking forward to having that conversation as well. All that to say, we're going to be a little busy around here, and we certainly appreciate your great support as we launch the new book, Star Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. Just a couple of housekeeping items here, folks. We have launched a Substack. I know a lot of you folks complain about the ads over on ToddStarnes.com. Well, we have an ad-free Substack. We just ask that you purchase it's a subscription, $5 a month, very reasonable, and that allows us to produce content for you free of charge over at Substack. And just search for Todd Starnes, and you'll see our Substack page. And also be sure to download our free newsletter and podcast. So we want to try to give you as many free resources and reliable resources as humanly possible. So there you go, ToddStarnes.com. Tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern on Newsmax, we're going to have the very latest on what's happening in the Middle East. Also, these weekend protests, folks, be very careful. There's going to be a lot of chaos in a lot of the larger cities and probably the medium-sized cities. So be careful if you're going out. Watch your six. Might be best to avoid some of those downtown areas if at all possible. Well, look, it's been a great, great week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for all of you who came out and made our book launch party such a great celebration and success. Really appreciate that. Want to thank our great team here in Memphis as well. Folks, get out there, have a great Friday, and whatever you do, be sure to go to church this weekend.